Before we import, we need an organized way to store our files. If you already have your own system for organizing files, you can skip ahead. I'm going to be showing the system that I use for all my photography. So I'll just pull up my folder here called Photography. Here I have subfolders in which I separate by year. If I click Photography 2019, you will see more subfolders by which I call batches. These batches contain the actual photos and an additional subfolder named pics. Pics are all the edited photos from this batch. Think of a batch as a photo shoot. It's all the photos taken from one event. When I create a new batch, which I'm going to create one right now, I start with the batch number. In this case, it's 6 because the last one was 5. And then what season we're in. In this case, currently of shooting this video, we're in summer. And then a brief description of what's in this batch. So I have a bunch of photos from a hike I just went on, so today I'm going to be using that. I'm just going to name it the trail name, which was Indian Head. Okay. You can name it whatever you'd like, as long as there's some sort of organization. So in here, I always make a pics folder. This is where all our processed images will be. If you shot in RAW, I like to make another folder containing those particular files. I name it RAW, followed by the batch number. In this case, it's 6. If you only have JPEG, you can skip that step. So that's really it. Again, you can organize it in any way you'd like. Just don't dump everything into one folder, as it will make your life much harder.
There's many ways to import into Lightroom, but first I want to show you some effective ways on how to get your photos from your camera onto your computer. This can be done through a cable, Wi-Fi, and many other ways, but today I'm going to be showing you how to do it from an SD card and an SD card reader. Your DSLR should have an opening where your SD card is located, and you can pop that out and put it into your SD card reader. When you're ready, you can launch Lightroom. Now that that's done, we can plug in our SD card. Try to do it quickly and don't wiggle it around.
When you plug it in, you may get a notification or a folder will pop up on your screen, depending on your settings. If you already had Lightroom open, it should automatically bring up your files like here. If nothing happens in Lightroom, and you didn't get a folder like this, you can bring up your files over here, look for it over here, and you can usually find a folder that says DCIM. You'll have to probably open up some additional folders to find it, and all your folders will be here. Then you can open up Lightroom and drag and drop those into Lightroom. Since Lightroom opened, we're just going to exit out of that. I'm going to break down this screen so it's easier to understand. Over to the left is where all your files on your computer are. You can scroll through them like this and all that. This is for finding your photos, but since we already found them, we don't have to worry about that. In the middle is where all your photos should be. They should all be selected with a check mark. You can check all photos up here to select all. Over to the right is where our photos will be stored. You should navigate through to the folder we made earlier called RAW6. And if you have JPEG, you can just find the batch folder. So I'm just going to go ahead, scroll through it, and try and find it. Photography 2019, batch 6, and RAW. So I'm just going to select that. Now we have a few more options at the top. Move and add should be grayed out, like so. If not, that means your files are already on your computer. The remaining options should be copy and copy as DNG. This is what transfers the file onto your computer. Copy is going to transfer the files as the file formats from the camera. Copy as DNG is a little different. This can get really confusing really quickly. Since it's something that people rarely use nowadays, we're just not going to worry about it. So I'll just hit copy. It's already selected as copy by default. Once you have all of that settled, we can hit import. After that, your library will show up and all your photos will start to be imported. When the progress bar in the top left is done, you can remove your SD card. It should automatically pop it out. Yep, right here, ejected. But you should still pull it out physically.